Lucky me. But as you can see, God likes to punish and laugh at some of us because I have two brothers, older and younger, taller and bigger than me for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You know what that was like growing up? I could talk about that on the show if y'all want to know what that was like growing up, bro. Like when you had to get bullied by your older brother who was 5 years older than you, and then your younger brother who was 3 years younger than you, and you were like, oh, damn, do I have any like sort of fight? And then God's like, growth spurt on him. And it's like, oh, okay. All right, two-side squeeze, right, God? All right.
I've met Mitch's brothers before, and like they are big.
You didn't meet? Wait. Did you meet my brothers?
Yeah. Those dudes are big as fuck. Like,
did they wait, they might have came in.
There's not a lot of men in this world that intimidate me. Mitch's brothers, them dudes.
Okay, so
solid.
you probably met my older brother then, because my older brother is really, really like straightforward, like disciplined type who will look at you and have you being like,
they gave me dap. One of them did, and you ever have somebody?
Oh yeah, you did meet my brothers,
and right. Lift you off the ground.
You said that exact same shit. She was like, "Damn, oh, that's like a bare hand," and I was like, "Don't fucking kiss ass of my brothers right now, bro."
I didn't want him to kill me. Like,
which was
he's a big man.
That was my older brother, the one with the, and he is the type that'll kill you. To be fair,
he grabs my hand for a dap. He says, "Come here," like for a hug.
Is it wrong that when you said that, all I could think of was like, "That's hot as fuck."
Don't be crushing on my fucking brothers.
The man grabs my hand for a handshake, turns it into a black people handshake, and then drags me across the room, the whole room. He dragged me across the whole room and put me up in his chest. Now his chest is like 6 feet off the ground, so I'm like in the ground, like I'm in the air.
Logan don't like feeling like that if you can't tell, because Logan dead had to be like chest, like head up to chest, like, oh hey, yeah, man, thanks. It's nice meeting you, dog. Yeah, man, yeah, but this love. I mean, kind of forced, but this love.
Why are you trying to show me how strong you are?
I love it so much.
But no, my older brother is the type that
Please tell me this is on the pod because I love it so much.
Oh man,
it can be if you're just tuning in. That was my voice when he grabbed me. I was like, "Oh, you strong?
Oh, you strong?"
You just tuning in.
Like half your brain cells are too busy praying to God.
My older brother's the dangerous one too. He's the one that could actually kill you.
I ain't never felt nobody that strong before. If you just tuning in,
Mitchell, I'm sorry.
I'm your host, Logan.
I'm fine.
And this is the Milk and Toast podcast.
I get mine one way or the other.
I'm here with my two two. Shut up, Mitch. Damn, I'm trying to we done did this from the first episode. You still do this shit. I'm here with my one best friend named Mitch.
I'm sorry, somebody's cranky today.
Say hi to the people, Claire.
Hey guys, how are you?
Say hi to the people, Mitch.
Boo shaka laka laka hoo ha hoo.
Okay.
That's fun. I like that.
Damn, I did this is the second time in a row. What am I? Yeah, go ahead, Claire. Yeah, tell them where they can find us.
So you ask how we are, and then I tell them where to find us. But that's okay. I'll do it this way today. So
slump the hands this way today.
You can find us on all your social media platforms. Anywhere you can find podcasts. Have we been uploaded to any new different podcast platforms? Because I know we're on Good Pods. I know we're on Spotify. Yeah. I know we're... Stop laughing and answer the question like a professional. Just say no. Easy.
Okay, sure.
Apple podcasts. Yeah, basically anywhere you can find podcasts, we're there. So if you're already on one of those platforms, all you got to do is not Google. Not everything is Google. Search the Milk and Toast podcast. We have the email, which is themilkandtoast@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm now moderating the Reddit, so I've not done anything yet. But I was having a look at it. Last night, and I was like, "This is a lot," but also, I don't know. So,
I like how I just gave it to Claire too. I was like, "Yeah, have fun. It's Reddit." Yeah.
This is me, guys. So you guys should know by now if you've been listening for a little while, or even if you only listened to one other episode, because quite frankly, it's me. I am technologically, I'm basically a 6-year-old woman in a 26-year-old body. So I can't do shit. there's been times where Mitchell has like gotten frustrated at me because he was trying to guide me to a platform that he had on his computer and I just couldn't find. There was also the time where I couldn't
I didn't get frustrated
screen share the problem
did I? Oh, okay.
on my computer. So there is issues with me and technology. And then on social media, for instance, I don't share the show on my stories on Instagram because I don't know how. So he's given me this Reddit, right, guys? And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Ben and I'm like, you're going to need to help me with this. So, yeah, if I do end up posting anything on there, then be impressed, my dudes. Come check it out. I'll let you know how I go. But yeah, follow, share, subscribe. Check us out.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh, follow. That was actually real clean, Claire.
There you go.
Like, no, you get kudos. I use like, follow, subscribe, check us out. We could have put that on like a fucking commercial.
Promo reel. Yeah, there you go.
Damn, Claire, go ahead, Claire, damn. That's what I'm talking about.
I love my hymen.
Claire been chilling with the brothers, you know what I'm saying? She out here, you know what I'm saying? We out here. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
How you guys doing today?
I told you I didn't want to talk about it.
How are you?
Damn, Mitch, come on. You could pretend.
Oh, come on. All right. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get through the day. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all working through it. I'm working through it just like we all do.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How you doing, Claire?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Sorry.
Anytime I call Claire's name, she just like freeze. She's like, "What?"
I wish you would do her first.
Why?
Because I thought I could about.
I thought I could like give Claire time to get ready to be called on, and it doesn't work at all.
I know.
I think it might be better if you started.
I want to talk about on that, but I don't know if we have time.
Go for it. Just do it now.
So we were watching TV the other day, and then an ad came on, and the chick on TV was called Claire, and so the name Claire was called out, and I just spun around in the kitchen. I was like, "What?" And Ben was like, "What?" And I was like, "My name." He was like, "TV." And I was like, "Oh, shit." And then I thought about it, and I was like, my name isn't that common in my age group. Like, it's common above my age group, but not below or in my age group. So whenever I hear my name being called, I just know, I think it's me. I know it's me. But for some reason, no one talks to me. And like, even when someone talks to me, like Ben calls me his beautiful lady, or like other stuff like Bob or Honey or whatever. And then like my friends have nicknames for me and stuff. Basically only Logan calls me. But then it's Claire Bear a lot of the time.
I mean, so I call you Claire.
Yeah, I know. You're a new development.
Let's not say it like that. Let's not, like, it works, but I was like, it made me feel weird. I was like, shit, am I under construction? And then I was like, yes. And then I got kind of sad. So let's not do that. Let's not do that.
My B.
It's all good. I didn't expect it either.
Philosophical? What is the word? Philosophical.
You said syphilis, though,
philosophical?
Right?
No, I didn't. Yeah, that's the one. Thank you, Logan. And no, I didn't, Mitchell. No, I didn't.
I love how much credit Mitch gives you. Like he's like, yeah, you know that. Come on. Like you can do that.
Claire, I'm not realizing you're the only Claire I know. I think you're the only Claire I've known my whole life. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I think she's literally
with my name a little. Like I have my name. I've had my name my whole life, and like teachers call my name and work people call my name and stuff. And like I'll be like, yeah, what's up? But like if I'm not in the headspace for some reason, I get surprised. I get scared.
Okay.
Like that's me.
Like, are you in trouble or like what?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I want to know. I think I'd be like if someone was like, "No, I'm not going to do that to you." Actually.
Okay. Mitch, you wanted to talk about childhood dreams versus what your life really pans out into.
I mean, I guess that is the truth of it. You were right. Since last week, I wasn't thinking about it. I was just thinking about stuff to talk about. But the capitalist drip kind of plays into that because, you know, it's one of the the cornerstones. But even there, just like kind of like simple stuff. So, and then I guess this could also be a discussion on just how dark it gets or how cynical you can get once you grow up. Because we talk about it, me and Claire especially, how disgusted we are with the human race. I wish I was an alien all the time. Growing up, I wish I was either in this order, either like an experimental subject who got superpowers, a flat out mutant waiting for his powers to kick in, or straight up alien, like alien sleeper cell waiting for the mothership to come down so we can invade the Earth. But none of that happened. So those are some of my first childhood disappointments. But in all seriousness,
I wish they could see my face.
I know, right? I think I wish they could too. It would make me, they don't see how satisfied I am. But, you know, so we come into this world and we love babies, right? And it's like, we want to protect them. We love this sweet childlike innocence. And then we have kids growing up. And then there's a point where at some point we're just like, yo, fuck that person. And I want to say that age is like, maybe like 12 or 13, where we're like, nah. None of this childlike innocence bullshit is gonna pass anymore. You disgusting fucking 13-year-old. What the fuck's wrong with
You're
you?
not wrong.
There's a certain point where you stop being like
puberty,
treated as a child. And you know, it is fair to say like it's puberty. And it's just kind of horrible because like it really fucks us up as adults.
It's true. And like the way they
you turn into an asshole too
changes.
That's the
way they respond to you
different takes. Go ahead, Claire. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Let her finish.
So I saw this a lot. Like when I was a kid, I was like loved on like no one's business from like my extended family specifically, who I'm talking about. I was loved on like no one's business. Like children were like revered in the family. Like they loved on us. They loved on us. They loved on us. They loved on us. And then I hit like 13. And it was like a switch was flicked and they were just nothing but cold to me. And it was only just 13. And I was so confused because these people who were like so open and warm and loving towards me just like shut off all of a sudden. And I had no idea why. And in their minds, and the way they explained it to me was because I'm grown up now. I'm going to like need to like grow up now. But in my mind, it was just very almost traumatic because there was no transition. There was no understanding about it. Does that make sense? Like I was treated a certain my entire life by these people, and then it changed. And it taught me a fucking lesson, but it also added to my trauma. So it's like, is that the way we should do that or not? Because I'm a firm believer in talking to children like they're adults. Like obviously sheltering them to an extent.
Yeah.
Because they're children. But at the same time, you know, explain, like instead of being like, because I said so, explaining as much as you can, etc. Because I just think it's really like baby steps are where you need to go with that sort of situation. And maybe when they hit 10 or 11, start being like, okay, well, you're growing up now. You're going to be, so we're going to start talking to you like this. And we're going to, you know what I mean? Like, and just sort of easing them into the fact that life sucks instead of just flicking that switch. Because that happened to me and I struggled.
I feel like I was trying to say earlier, I think that's also the time when you do kind of turn into a dick because like your hormones are kicking up. You like as a preteen to like an early teenager, a lot of people.
You start acting out.
Yeah, you start acting out.
You say dick, but I don't know if that's fair because you're like, so much is happening to you. Literally, so much is happening to you. And you literally just start acting out.
I think, okay, let me say it like this then. I think that
if that's how you feel, that's just how I feel.
The perception is that you're a dick.
Yeah,
because like, especially to like grown-ups, like they're not ready for like a child to talk to them a certain way. You know what I mean? So that can be hard for a lot of grown-ups themselves to like transition into. Not to defend them, but that's just like, you know, what do you do when a 13-year-old cusses you out?
Can I speak to you on that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Because, you know, you said that. I'm sorry. Let me not die first. You said that because you're like, yo, grown-ups aren't ready for you, except that's entirely false. Grown-ups have been having people speak to them that in their entire lives. But all of a sudden, and I think, and it's something we brought up the other day. It was like, when you realize, you know, we're growing up when we think adults have it together, except no, the fuck they don't. And that's when you really find out when, if you're a child and you can see how well a person is with themselves based on how they're able to deal with someone younger than them who has less life experience. Because if you're like a dick to a kid, Like, no matter what instance it is, and yeah, you could get pissed off because you're only human, but if you're like a legit dick to like a child between the ages of like 0 and 16, there's something actually going on with you. Right. Like, you're the one who knows better, bro. Grow the fuck up since you're the actual grown up. And so I hear you say that, and it's like, no, adults are used to talking to adults. When a child's talking to you or having something expressing themselves, technically they're just doing what we've all been raising ourselves to do our entire lives. But then we have this like, there's like this weird stigma, and that's also a piece of it. It's like, yo, what changed between me being goo goo gaga here and then you feeling the need to like, you know, get up in arms whenever I say anything to you? And I mean, I guess that's also a human thing, because a lot gets involved in like teenagers going through their hormonal shit. You know, people growing up still going through life and dealing with their mental health and trying to figure out still, because shit, man. Y'all remember when we was kids and we thought 20-year-olds were adults? Bro, y'all remember thinking 20-year-olds were adults? Or was that not y'all? That was me. If that wasn't y'all, okay.
I remember thinking
20-year-olds were adults?
I remember thinking, this is what I'm going to do when I'm 21. This is what I'm going to do when I'm like 24. This is what I'm going to do when I'm 26. And thinking like, those were big ages to like do the world with, you know, like I'm going to have like all this money and stuff. And I don't know where I thought all that fucking money was going to come from at 18. Like, I don't know.
Well, for me, I can tell you as an artist, I did thought I was going to make it big from jump. I was like, all right, I just got to do this for a little bit. And then, you know, I'm gonna get into Hollywood and stuff. And I figured it out, which didn't happen. But I like how you went into that, because I did kind of still want to talk on that too. Like, what were your dreams as a kid that you didn't end up getting to at this point, that where you thought you would be? You know, one of them, for me, the easiest one at least, is like, you know, super successful actor, you know, in all the films, taking care of his family, speaking to all the people. And I'm just like, oh boy, did New York hit me in the face. What would we say disrespectful stepdaddy?
Because I seen, like I was telling you guys earlier, I saw like people doing this thing on TikTok where they were like talking to their 13-year-old selves. But like they talk to their 13-year-old self and they like kind of bring up how like, you know, oh, well, we don't do this, but we do that. And we don't do this, but we don't do that. But it's like, that's not what I asked you. You know, like I want to speak for the 13-year-old. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, are we doing this? And like, why not? Like, what would you think is like the why not? And like, how is it that like, is it why not I'm not doing my dreams? Or is it more I'm not doing my dreams and this is why, or I am still doing my dream and this is why it's taking longer?
Good question, actually. And unfortunately, I was trying to veer away from here or not trying to come here too soon, because then like we get back into like capitalistic aspects. But rather than getting into that, let's talk about just who we were as people growing up then, you know what I'm saying? Because me personally, shit, I mean, we and Logan, it's kind of funny because I don't know when you met Claire, but me and you have a reference of being like our 18, 19-year-old selves. Yeah. Which is way different still from like being younger, but nonetheless, there's like a reference point. Because me personally, I'm not talking to my 13-year-old self. I might scar the motherfucker. Like, that's just how I feel. I don't know how y'all feel, but who I am now, I know Claire. Yeah, you feel that? You feel that same way? Exactly. I'm not, they're going to be like, yeah, so you're my adult self. So what should I know? And I'm just going to look at them and be like, just going to shake my head like, let's not talk. But why? You know what? Just keep to what you know, man, and believe in yourself, all right? But don't you want to tell me anything about... No. Just stay positive, all right? There's nothing wrong with you. I want you to remember that. There's nothing wrong with you, but you thought that for so long, but it's actually not you, or not just you. So just stay
I think my
focused on what you
13-year-old
really
self
think
would...
matters.
I think that's not even the questions my 13-year-old self would want to know from me right now. My 13-year-old self would definitely want to know... scores to football games and stuff, so he could go bet on them later. Like, of the future,
like, oh, you'd be like, yo, why you wasting my time? They go like, what's the lottery numbers? Like, you serious, bro? You came back and I feel like because your young self, I feel like was a smart alecky motherfucker who always thought he knew better for no. Yeah, exactly.
I'm be like,
so
listen,
I guess that would be different.
Our memory is still horrible, but write this down. Tom Brady goes to work for the Buccaneers, and then he wins. Okay,
what?
So like,
13-year-old self be like, what?
what? And so like I write it down, and then like I'm just waiting years and years for it to happen until I finally get to my point. I'm like, oh shit, like, it's time.
Paradox, because you went back in time, you changed it, and now instead of going to the Buccaneers, he went and played for the Dolphins.
That's only one version of like time.
I'm a Dolphins fan, so I just want
because you know how you've got linear. So
oh, okay.
All right, whatever. I won't tell you.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, sorry.
She heard sports and it's just like, fuck this.
Yeah, literally. I was like, I'm not even.
Sorry, what were you saying, Claire?
I was just saying that, like, that could be one way that happened. It was only meant to be a small thing, and it's a little less relevant now.
Well, because I was just kidding, but you wanted to get it. You were like, wait, Mitchell, that's not how fucking time travel works,
no,
bro.
It's one way time travel works. I was trying to get in and tell you.
What's another one?
So there's linear and there's circular.
What's circular?
Circular is when you change things. So it's one you guys always talk about. Linear is things are just the way they are, and you go back and you go forward.
And you can't ever change it?
I think so. I think that's the right one. I might be wrong, actually.
But can't you change linear? It just makes another branch like in Loki or something?
Yeah, I think so.
And
then, or is that a different one? Is that branch timelines?
Well, technically, so if we're talking linear specifically, we're going, all right, we have a start here, there's an end here, but we're saying, typically, we're saying that it doesn't have to be like the way it flows. Things are all happening at the same time. It doesn't matter. So if you're in like 1500 BC and then you jump to like 12 AD, like those are all technically, because time doesn't really exist, because a flow of time for us isn't really real.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you could jump anywhere on that time stream. And then when we talk about branching, we're going, all right, I was in 1500 AD and then I did something. And rather than it flowing that way, it went this way and formed a different thing. Not
to get too far away from what we're actually talking about, but just just for a little bit. I think the most difficult thing about time travel is the fact that time isn't real. So it's like, how do you travel back to, like, if you drive down a road, right, that road is like a physical object. But because time is literally intangible, what are you traveling on? You know? So to quantify that, like they show it in, like, here's what I mean. If I travel through space, right, space is literally just space, right? And so I am still traveling through something. Like I'm traveling through gravitational fields. I'm using my rockets as propulsion. Like I'm moving my body through space, right? There's no way to technically move your body through time because of the fact that time does not exist. You know, you age as a being, but that it's not necessarily because of time. That's because you die. You know what I mean? So to say that I'm going to reverse time would mean that, like, what do you mean by that? Are you reversing your aging process when you're doing that? Are you traveling backwards? This is why time travel can never exist. Yeah.
Like, this is why time travel can't exist, in theory. I don't know for sure. Like, I'm not a scientist. No, right. But this is the theory of why time travel can't exist, because it's incredibly hard to calculate that. You know, like it's incredibly hard to like work that shit out. There's a lot of
variables. There's like way too many variables. But do you guys remember the scientific equation for time, which is just like speed over distance?
Yeah.
And then that's your measure of time. And for us, it works because, like Logan was literally just saying, if I'm on the road or if we're even talking space, we're just like, all right, how far did I go? How fast was I going? And that kind of
like I can extend time. Like I can make more time by going faster. So like it would take, or less time. No, more. I can make more time by going faster through a space, or less time by going slower through that same space, right? So like if I'm taking a car from here to Orlando, right, I know it takes me like an hour every time, right? Because my car goes but so fast. But if I was to walk, it'd take me like 3 days to get to Orlando. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, depending on how fast you go, you can speed or slow down time in front of you, but you can't like go behind you. And that's like the question of the day is like, how do you go behind you? Like, how do you reverse that? But you're not traveling through anything to do that. You know what I mean? Like, what is the friction that you hold on to?
Like the gravitational pull, like you were talking about in space and everything. It's basically the exact same.
But in reverse, like what does that mean is what I'm saying.
Also, if we're talking space, you're talking about navigating through those gravitational fields if they're there. Like, you could just be in open space with nothing around except it's really, really fucking distant stars.
Right.
But on Earth, we always have the downward gravitational pull. And then you've got, like, winds and everything else like that. So you're traveling through. And then the
friction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so that was our time segment, guys.
I was only bringing it up because I just felt like saying that one thing about Logan, like about not being able to talk to your past self because it will change things. I don't think it will always change things. I think there's a lot of different options and there's a lot of different theories. And if I got the chance to go back in time, I would change things partially just because I would want to see what would happen when I came back. You know what I mean? Like I would purposely do it as an experiment. Like I would take it upon myself and I would take the data I created.
Claire's like a time terrorist.
She just went mad scientist, bro. Yeah, she just went
destroyed like everybody's lives.
You're a chrono-terrorist, Claire. Jesus.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Yeah, because you just like fucking with the timeline just because. Yeah, you're just fucking with the timeline just because.
No,
you're like, what will happen?
I would take the risk on behalf of the human race.
Thanks.
Oh, to see. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's all about us
You're
now,
welcome.
huh? Okay.
That's
okay.
horrible.
Well, anyway, what would you say to your past?
It's not my fault. If I'm the one who gets given the opportunity, I'm the one who's going to take it. What anyone could do with it affects us all. It's not all like you're acting like I'm the bad guy when in reality, at least I'm not being selfish. At least I'm going to be doing something that like affects everybody or like positively or negatively. There's people out there who do things that were selfish. So.
Whoa, Logan, we just got the villain speech.
Yeah, that was a big villain
Like I feel
speech.
for her too. I'm like, yo, if we put this in film, it would have been like, oh damn. You'd be in the chair like, oh shit. It's one of those moments like I think I agree with the villain.
I'd be the worst.
Someone stop them.
I'd be the worst hero because that's the exact face I would have made. Like just like, ugh. Like you know, like no. I'm just like, ugh. I don't think that's the way,
you
guy.
You guys think I'm the villain because of the chance that there's something bad. Where I see myself as neutral because there's also the chance of something good.
I know,
the chance of something good.
All right, so wait, Claire. So on this one,
are you so complicit in your like whole lifestyle
Claire,
that you would never change anything for the good, no matter how good it is, because of the chance there'd be something bad?
It's not. You're not supposed to take risk on the chance that's something bad. You're supposed to be before you take the risk for good.
Yeah,
you're supposed to really super outweigh the bad.
Thank you.
What if I don't have the opportunity to do that?
Well, now you're a chrono-terrorist.
That's the answer. You don't do it.
Yeah, now you're a chrono-terrorist.
Life isn't that easy, though. Life isn't that fucking simple.
Darling, it could be so simple if you just don't commit chrono-terrorism by just being
I'm not trying to commit chrono-terrorism.
I'm just saying when you said no, when you said that, this is what we mean. When you said that, I would just change something just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what would happen. You can't change something with the unexpected outcome that the outcome would be unexpected and then accidentally change everybody else's life in the process and then be like, oh, oops.
Yeah, but they wouldn't even know their lives were changed.
But you know,
even if it was to the negative.
But you know, because you know the ethics of that is wrong. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Sometimes science has
unintended consequences.
Yeah,
we call those people mad scientists. Claire.
That's what they always say.
Those are usually, and that's why I was saying. I was like, dang, if this was in the film.
I'm sorry. Fuck y'all. The mad scientists are the ones that get things done. If it wasn't for World War II, we wouldn't have fucking penicillin. Fuck you all. I'm out.
What the fuck?
So yes to World War II for penicillin, Claire?
No, that's putting words in my mouth. No, that's putting words in my mouth.
Okay,
what I said was, fuck you all, because sometimes when bad shit happens, good things come out of it. Things that save lives. Things that we use to this day.
Yes, but not...
Plus, no one would have asked for World War II still for penicillin.
I didn't ask for World War II.
I know. I'm not saying you did. No, I'm just saying the point there is like no one would be like, yeah, let's go through World War II to get to penicillin. That just happened.
Yes,
I never
exactly.
said that.
No, I'm not. Yo, I'm not putting words in my mouth.
You
I'm
guys
not
are misunderstanding each other.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm just saying
is that yes, you're correct. That was
but you don't go like, oh, let's go through World War II for penicillin. That's not the option we would have wanted.
No, not that,
I
Mitch.
know, but...
No, Mitch, not that. It would be like saying, oh, let's go through World War II because something good might happen because of it. You know?
No. I never said that. What I said was something good can come out of the bad.
Yes.
Which is going back to my point of how, like, if I change one thing and something bad happened, something good might come out of it. And I would have data to prove the good and the bad.
I think this conversation
I'm not saying we need to do bad to do good. That is not at all what I'm saying.
No one's saying you're
nobody's saying that. Well,
life is complicated. Life is complicated. And sometimes lots of stuff comes out of a situation and we only focus on the bad. That doesn't mean the bad to happen.
Let's try.
The reason why we focus on the bad is because the bad is bad.
And we don't want it to happen.
We focus on the bad part because of the negative consequences that happens as the bad happens. So it's not that we're just not unwilling to go through it to get to the good. Is that unwillingly doing something to cause a certain outcome, to cause an unintended outcome, is unethical because of the fact that you do not know what you will get out of it. And because you don't know what the consequence, if the consequences were, I don't know what will happen to myself, but I'll do it, and then it won't affect anybody else, that could be made more of an argument for a better whatever experiment. But because you don't know who else the experiment will affect, that's why me and Mitch are like, this is some mad scientist shit.
I struggle with it because I feel like ethics holds back science a lot. And
hold on. I'm surprised you said that, Claire, of all people. Because wait. Can I bring up something real quick? Can I bring up something?
Fact.
Well,
you don't have to like it.
But here's the thing: there are things that we wanted to do, but because what we're bringing up right now, the little conversation has gone into risk management, and it's like because at the same time there are certain risks we've been willing to take. At the end of the day, let's talk about circumnavigating the world. There were risks people were willing to take to figure out what was out there. Yeah. And it was scary at times. But the way it's supposed to work, when you're managing risk, you're supposed to be mitigating the most negative risk to yourself and the people around you. Is traditionally how it's supposed to work. I'm not even against what you're saying, Claire, and in one sense, because I understand being willing to take. I'm a person who takes risk all the time. Because at the end of the day, humanity has existed upon taking risk for, better outcomes. The point is,
like eating eggs.
Or anything. Imagine the first caveman and be like, hey, these mushrooms look good, bro. Dead. Hey, okay, so I died from that one. That was a risk we were willing to take, and we know not to eat that.
This reminds me of the meme where it's all like, okay, so that one makes me see God, that one tastes good, and that one killed Brian.
But no, I mean, as funny as that is, like, haha, but that's real shit. And that's kind of how risk management works. But the thing is, especially in this day and age, we're supposed to be civilized enough. We're at the point where we're like, all right, guys, we can't keep taking super ridiculous risk unless the benefit has to be substantial. We're talking like world changing. You know what I mean? So I'm not even saying I can't say I disagree with you to one extent. It's just that you sounded like a chrono-terrorist because we were like, were you thinking about the risk at all, or did you not give a fuck whatsoever?
Not at all, because I feel like, and please let me out. No, you don't get to do this.
No. Let her talk. I think. Wait. I'm trying to understand.
I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing at Logan.
Yeah, my face did. I did.
You didn't see his face.
I know, but
I tried to pull it back so I could listen. So,
he said, Claire.
I think as a society, we have gotten to the point where we are so overpopulated that everything is just so different to to the rule book that we made. We are so overpopulated that we are going to die anyway. So the risk management I made was, since we're going to die anyway, if I go back and I change this one thing and it fixes it now, that's worth it. That's worth it.
No, man. I'm sorry. That's not right. I know what you're trying to say. I'm not trying to say that I don't understand it matters to you,
which is important.
Yeah, I understand why it's an important thought. But I'm saying that that's not the way. It's
well,
not
why
the
don't
way.
we just take the thought?
Why is it not the way? Because Logan doesn't think it's the way?
No.
Like,
well,
you
wait.
No, Mitch doesn't agree with me on shit. Don't do that to him.
A lot of things.
I said Logan. Can you listen?
No. I'm just. Why don't we take the thought to full term then, Claire? Because you're like, yo, I want to potentially fix something.
You're like, I
want to potentially fix something, right? But it's like, all right, cool. So it's like we have to take it to full term, and we have to think about the outcomes. So you're like, yo, I wanted to go back and. Let's say you wanted to go back and you actually were like, yo, I want to kill baby Hitler. Yo, I think that'd be best for the world.
Right.
You know, I killed baby Hitler. That makes sense. And it's like, all right, you went back, you killed baby Hitler. You came back for whatever reason, rather than us not having to go through World War II and maybe getting, you know, better with our resources and working together. Instead, you came back and now we're in apocalyptic wasteland for whatever reason. Right. What do you say now?
Honestly, I see apocalyptic wasteland as better
no. Like
that's my personal.
Wait, through that?
I can't believe you just fucking said that.
Because the population's down, which means the Earth gets to rebuild. Because there's less of us. That's brilliant to my whole theory of I don't like overpopulation.
We're not doing this again. We did this. This is the reason why episode 2 was bad. So we're not doing this again. Anyways, we're moving on. Thank everybody for playing ethics and
Time Jeopardy. Time ethics and Jeopardy. Something like that. We don't actually know because it's chrono displacement and we don't have anything to back it up.
Did you guys want to talk about one of your topics? Because I'm going to go for a quick 5-minute.
Yes. All right. Go. So OnlyFans. Wait, no. I don't want to even talk about OnlyFans right now.
Well, not without Claire.
No, I mean that's kind of. You want to talk about the milk crate challenge? She's gone.
Oh wow! I figured you want to do that one later. No. So, have you seen any of the memes talking about how it's a conspiracy? How you haven't seen any of those memes, bro?
Dr. Umar Johnson. Where
you haven't seen any of the Hotep memes? Like, yo, where those milk crates come from? Yeah, bro.
We should talk about Hoteps.
That's a lot because I don't even actually get the concept too much, other than like the stereotypical sense. Like, yo, bro. Like, okay, not everything has to be emasculating the black man who gets to express themselves in just as many capacities as everyone else. But,
yeah, because a lot of Hotepism is like rooted in like just like homophobia.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's like
because it's the homophobia is an immediate attack on black masculinity, and it's like unfortunately that's just not fair. Period. Because being gay doesn't necessarily mean you're, gay. You could just be gay.
Right.
And I've known many men like that. So it's like, I've known many masculine gay men, you know, and the thing I think is funny in terms of sexual expression, and shit, this is a topic I didn't mean to get on, but like, in terms of how we like to assume, for instance, if we just bring in the LGBTQ, and once again, I think I've said this before, once again, I think that the creation of the LGBTQ, but I mean this for any like marginalized group that gets created just because people are suffering. People don't understand that's not a good thing. If marginalized groups had to group together and create entire like organizations and structures to get you to respect and understand them, that's an entire, complete, utter fucking failing on the humans around them. Because it's like,
I can.
What? So, because don't get me wrong, LGBTQ exists, you know, for people to come together, express themselves, protect themselves. And we're like, yeah. And I'm sitting here on the end like, you stupid fucking horrible pieces of shit who made these people feel they had to do that in the first place, is where I'm coming from.
No, that is the point though. Yeah, you're right.
No, that's not even an argument I have. That's just, that's really sad. But in terms of like sexual expression, it's like, yeah, so a gay person has to look like this. And then we could just talk about expression, period. Oh, you know, black man from Canarsie, which is, you know, a neighborhood in Brooklyn, you know, a little bit low income, considered like the hood or whatnot, but it's a fine neighborhood if you've ever been through. But if you a black man from that area, you got to carry yourself a certain way. You got to come correct. You know what I'm saying? You can't be soft in these streets when it's really like, no, where you're from or things you have experienced don't necessarily have to determine who you are or choose to be. So in this vein with the like Hotep thing and them being like, oh, you know, homosexuality is an attack on like masculinity and whatnot is only just completely bogus because so if you're a man who sleeps with other men, that doesn't mean you don't necessarily carry yourself in a manner that would be considered like tough or like chauvinistic. You could just as easily maybe be an asshole, you know what I'm saying? You don't actually know because that doesn't determine who you are. That's like one facet of your sexual relationship with people around you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just kind of funny. And it's like, it's not fair at that because then you put people in a box and almost make people feel they have to act a certain way.
I think that's the point. I think that's what they kind of want because like the whole Hotep thing, like a massive part of it is that like they're against the what is it? The demasculization of the black man. And like I feel like 5% of that argument is valid in that Hollywood will I get the point that Hollywood will take a person and they'll try to make a mockery out of that person by feminizing them, and
which is a different topic.
That's a different thing. But what Hoteps do is they will. It's not like they just talk about like how, which they could, but it's not like they talk about how you know the feminization of somebody as a negative. You know, like trying to feminize a person or a group as a negative so that when you do, it's that person or a group becomes a mockery of itself. And that's what's wrong with it. They'd say that like any gay person on TV or any black gay person on TV is somehow anti to the black agenda. Just any old gay person. So it didn't even have to be it doesn't have to be whether or not, it doesn't matter what the context is, you know? And it's just like a type of homophobia where it's like, you just have a problem with gay people and you don't want to say it. And then it's also like calling into like black insecurities like men have, like, look at Claire's cat, just insecurities men have in general and trying to target those insecurities to like bring them into that group, which is what those groups are about. Like hyper-masculine groups are about, like Hoteps, parts of the conservative right and things like that. Yeah, incels and things like that, which we should talk about incels one day because that's like something that I'm surprised
I haven't brought that up before.
I know. I hate the whole incel thing. It's such a stupid like meme to have because it's what an incel is, for anybody who's listening and doesn't know, an incel is involuntary. What they call themselves is an involuntary celibate, which is somebody who's involuntarily celibate, that's not a thing. That doesn't make sense even grammarly. Like it doesn't make sense at all. You can't be involuntarily celibate.
Yeah,
that's a weird way to say that people aren't fucking you.
Wouldn't you just say you're celibate?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, because the point is that nobody wants to fuck them, so it's not by their choice that they're celibate.
Oh, right. Okay,
but that. To be involuntarily something, that has to do with just you, like yourself.
People really be having low self-esteem. Damn.
But then to make like an identity out of it.
Yeah, that's like, bro.
It didn't make
like you didn't even didn't want to try nothing else. You just gave up.
Yeah.
You dead just no, I mean not to be mean. But like I didn't even, because to me an incel, I didn't even know, to me an incel was the people like being trying to be nice to women to get something out of it, and then being very upset. And that's also them, right? Because it's involuntary. They blame them for right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, bro, you didn't. It just sounds like you gave up, and you didn't try. Although Logan, we're coming from a place of privilege in one sense, but not really. Just because, I consider myself an attractive black male, and I imagine you do too. We have evidence of this due to our lives. Yeah. And not every man has it like that.
Okay.
And mind you, I'm not saying we're like players, or I'm not saying we got it like that. I'm just saying there are some men who would be considered physically unattractive by the beauty standard in America, since that's all I feel like talking about right now.
Right.
Doesn't excuse anything. I'm just saying there's sad little
there's a mad amount of ugly fuckers out there that's like just
getting exactly. You just gave up, bro. That's like figuring it out, bro. You just gave up. And why don't you just say that instead of I'm sad and nobody loves me? You can just say I just gave up because I'm sad, or maybe I didn't have the strength, or maybe I am just a fucking loser who's mad at the world. Don't be like, oh,
it's the last one.
No one wants to love me.
Yeah, it's the loser one.
I'm the last man on the planet and still nobody wants me. Nah, it sounds like you just gave up, bro.
If you gotta get to the point where you gotta blame women for not fucking you, you're a loser.
You're in a sad place.
I've
been in some dark places in my relationship with women and felt angry and resentful and stuff like that. And we all do in one sense. But like to actually believe though, Logan, that's what it is for me. Okay. It's not the feeling how you feel. As a guy, that's understandable to feel jaded and cynical. It's the actually logically believing that you're literally so horrible that it's actually women who just won't. It's all on them. There's nothing you could do at all.
Right.
Not a single change you could make.
Right.
Not a single person you could meet on a planet literally filled with billions of people to find something that'll work. Now I feel a little bit mean, but I think it's okay to be mean to them.
It's the truth. No, it's not mean. It's the truth. It's like, okay, maybe your bloodline should die out.
Bro,
like,
I be seeing niggas with girls and be looking at them like, what? He got a girlfriend and I don't? Damn.
But that just makes me be like, well, what am I doing? You know, like I guess
once again, because you know what I mean? Quit. You know what I'm saying? You don't give up. And to me, it just sounds like they got really, 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 really fucking butthurt. Ain't no one ever talked to them or raised them right. And they're probably dealing with some serious mental issues that they should go work through.
Yeah, why you hate women?
Well, that one, if you just look at the relationship between men and women, isn't as hard to believe as believing that it's women's fault you're not getting laid. Perhaps you gotta take a look in the mirror.
That's an expression of like you just hate women though. You don't really like women. That's probably also the problem why you're not getting
probably
one.
the main problem.
Yeah. Sorry. Like people sense when you don't like them. Like if you coming in hot to a conversation, like people already get the sense that, you know, you don't like me for this reason or that reason. And we might not be able to put our finger on it right away, but there's still hostility in between like the conversation and the tension, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. I was just saying that like in terms of like the base like dislike between men and women and like I don't really imbibe in it too much because like I always try to get along with, you know, everyone I can. But, you know, the relationship between men and women, when you think about it from like start to like now, Logan, I swear to God, bro, I was just talking, and maybe it's because I've been drinking, but I literally talked and an actual fucking bubble flew out my mouth. I have no idea how it fucking formed. I was dead just talking in a bubble and I was like, the fuck is that a hair? And I watched it. I was like, that's a fucking bubble. I was talking normally. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I thought I had to share that. So moving on, like, yeah, so the relationship between men and women isn't the strongest that it could be. We're lucky in some instances when I think about it, you know, cause we don't get along in so many ways, and we're so quick to be at each other's throat, especially due to the media. You know what I mean? Like in the media, especially, and one thing I hate is how normalized it is for people to think like, yeah, it's normal. It's normal to have like, you know, negative interactions with the opposite sex. It's normal for us to hate each other. Love's a battlefield. We're supposed to be at war just like each other. Niggas ain't shit. Bitches ain't shit. You know how normalized that is? How prevalent that is in our society everywhere, bro? How problematic that is and how much no one says a single goddamn thing about it. And then you're asking me, you're like, oh, well, how do men end up hating women? And also there are women who end up hating men. And it's like, when you think about it, we're actually just fucking lucky. How would you not end up like that in a society that normalizes men and women being in this negative relationship at each other's throats at so often?
You know what I think about on that point, though? I think about a lot of the time how much the different classes are fed different messages. Like,
that's also true.
Like,
yeah, that's
when you said niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, it's like that's a certain class of people that like delve into that. Yeah. And like, I think about like how it's not prevalent in other classes, you know, like just like income wise, to talk like that about each other, but also how she looks like Palpatine.
Yo, the way she
yeah, like anyways, Claire, we're talking about incels right now.
Oh yeah, love that.
Oh yeah. Well, we were talking about incels, but then we kind of got onto like, you know, Mitch was talking about like how, you know, you're in society and like, because I had brought up that like, you know, incels basically hate women, you know what I mean? Women. But he's like saying that, you know, how can you not at that point, because, you know, our society is geared for us to hate each other. Like he's saying, like, you know, don't say it too much like that, because then it sounds like I'm excusing behavior, which I'm not. I'm just saying. Well, no, not that he was excusing it, but like at the same time that there are a lot of messages that come down to us about, you know, like she ain't shit, he ain't shit, you know, things like that. And so and I was saying that, you know,
negative bullshit.
Yeah, I was saying that like a certain class of people gets fed a certain message, and I don't know if it's by design or not, but I feel like, you know, the people who like propagate the message are always above that class that like that is feeding on the message. You know what I mean? Like if you see a meme page and it's just like shoveling out a bunch of negative bullshit, and then people are all sharing it. Like the person in the meme page that runs the meme page, I believe, even if they're not at a higher socioeconomic status than everybody who's sharing it, they're at a higher power level than everybody else because they run this page, and therefore they're influential that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're like disseminating this information, and sometimes it is like people that like are like in a different tax bracket, because like if you look at people who are like who run like Love and Hip Hop and things like that, like trash TV shows, these people got their money, but then like we're sharing memes of people fighting and shit and doing all this shit, and it's a bunch of us brokies that are sharing it, you know what I mean, between each other. It's not like them sharing it to themselves. Like they're in Tulum, like they're having a good time in Mexico somewhere, you know what I mean? They're not like sitting there sharing the shit to you unless it's gonna go to you and they think they're gonna get like 500,000 likes out of it and like help expand their brand so they can sell you lipstick and whatnot, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Anyway, hi, welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that.
Claire, why don't you pick the topic this time?
Alrighty. Is that just because I haven't spoke for like an half an hour? Are you guys talking about Star Wars?
Yes, it is.
For the record, I mean, conversation tonight has jumped very naturally, but jumped from like place to place, like at random.
I know.
No, it's not a bad thing. Down. At least I don't think so.
Aggro.
No, you're good. Good for stepping out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's taking care of your mental health. I love it.
I literally went to bed and I was like, am I the villain?
Am I the villain?
No.
I'm
sorry. He keeps me loved.
Oh, man. I wasn't even trying to make you feel like that.
No.
It was just funny because no, I'm not gonna bring that up. Just pick that up.
Don't bring it. We'll let it go. It might even get cut. Who knows? But I was still just like, oh no. I'm happy to talk about. What should I talk about?
Whatever you want to talk about, man.
I'm getting it.
I wasn't rushing. I was trying to help.
You're like, am I the villain?
Why is it been me the whole time?
Am I the villain?
Why?
That's an alright topic. I mean, I didn't clear it with Logan first, so I might not talk about it now.
What?
How do you see yourself? Self-image versus
shit.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you brought that up, and I was like, "Shit, did we just want to cry today? Is that what you
Is that what this is?
Like, Jesus, Claire,
you
want to hit me while I'm down, Claire? Why don't you just hit me in person then?
I am interested to see how Mitch sees himself, though.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm not starting, y'all.
Why not?
I'm gonna make Logan start if we have to start with anyone.
You guys know how I see myself.
Yeah.
Go in depth, buddy.
Stop it.
And you guys know how I see myself. What do you? Oh.
I'm afraid that I'm going to sound like an asshole if I say how I see myself.
We don't actually get into it. How about we do a rock, paper, scissors across the video, and then that'll decide.
That's
so
great.
I guess who goes first? Or do we just?
Yeah, come on.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll go rock, paper, scissors says shoot, and then you go on shoot. Okay.
Right.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
Shit.
I said on shoot, guys.
I put it back so Claire lost.
All right, it's rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
Says shoot. Okay.
Yes. All right,
go.
Rock, paper, scissors says shoot. Guys, on shoot. What are we doing? You know what, Claire? Just go first. It's your topic. Just go first. I'll go after. We can let Logan go last.
Afterwards, you're going to have to explain the purpose of this game for me, because obviously I don't get it. Anyway.
Wait, you never played rock, paper, scissors?
I played rock, paper, scissors. I just don't know this on-shoot bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I've never played it like that
I'm just
either.
going to go on-shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors. And I literally said it. Yeah. But
so what, am I talking about how I see myself?
Yeah.
Self-image, let's go.
So I see myself as someone who's intelligent but mentally ill. I see myself as someone who was a victim but is now gaining back her power. I see myself as someone who struggles. I guess that falls into the mental health category, but I have anger issues and I have self-control issues and stuff. Not like self-control issues where I like impulse buy or do anything like that, but I struggle to pull myself back from the edge when for instance, I fluctuate too intensely. So if I'm too happy, if I'm happy, I'm too happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm giggling. I'm laughing. I'm in your face. Really, really happy. And when I'm angry, I'm like abusive. And when I'm like sad, you can't get me out of bed. It's like depressive episode. So I'm a very like extremes person. That being said, I'm incredibly loyal and dedicated to, if I say something, I'm going to do something, I still do it. So no matter what those 3 moods I'm in, I'll still show up and be there. Yeah, I think that's basically the extent of how I see myself. Obviously, there's more to it, but I don't want to get too deep and ugly.
No, that was pretty extensive, I thought. That was a lot, yeah.
We could go deeper, and I think we should at some point, but no, that was a lot.
Is that how you guys see me? Or at least some of it?
Yeah.
Well, except for the mental health issues part, and like you bring up the anger and stuff, and like I see it in spurts sometimes. I've been getting to know you, but I don't otherwise see you as angry.
I see you as angry.
There's only that, but yeah, Logan sees angry.
I see you as angry. I see you as angry, but I don't think of angry as like as a bad thing. You know, that might be because of myself. But
funny enough, though, I have to actually agree with Logan there because I see you as angry too, but you don't come across as like I'm just angry for no reason. Usually, there's entirely good reasons for why you're mad.
I was gonna say at least Logan sees me as angry, but he knows why I'm angry, and he's like, "Yeah, no, that's a fair enough reason to be angry."
Yeah. And between the two of us, it'll be for Logan. It'll have been like, "Oh, someone crossed your path and looked at you wrong." I mean, cutting them real quick makes sense.
I mean, when Claire gets angry, I'd really be more worried for Claire than anybody else. That's not to say that I think Claire would be in trouble for getting angry at somebody else. I think that, whatever happens to that person is their fault. But I don't really care at that point.
I have some intense guilt. I didn't mention, but I have some intense guilt.
Yeah, so I know that. She gets really guilty about the things she does after she gets angry. And when I handle people like that, I'm like, hey, maybe you shouldn't because you're going to feel bad about this. Claire will do things that she will feel bad about later. And if I did the same thing, I will not feel bad. So that's why I have a good sense.
You go next, you Logie.
I had a good sense. I have a good sense for those things. You know what I mean? No, I don't think I'm unethical. I think I see myself as an ethical person. But I think when push comes to shove, like, how do you see yourself, Mitch?
We're gonna have to get back to you. Like, there is no running. Like,
he just wants to think about how he's gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's just trying to bide for time so he can distract. We're just gonna get right back to that place. Let's see. So for me, it begins in a spiritual place, heavy, because like I legitimately think of myself as like an agent or warrior of like the divine, which is just what I call in terms of what I believe and how I believe. And I start there, but then as I'm looking at myself, trying to be my highest self and function at that level, like I'm dealing with my shadow like all the time. Like people are always like, yeah, Mitch, you're so nice. And I'm like, I just ain't let the demons out on y'all because God says that's bad. Lucky y'all. Because otherwise I let the demons out, we all gonna have a really bad day.
I'd be wondering what Mitch's demons be looking like.
Well, so you have these ideals you see of me, and then all you really have to do is invert that and imagine what the opposite would be. And then those are the shit that I'm dealing with sometimes. Like people are like, oh, Mitch, man, you're such a nice person. And I'm like, nah, my little brother's the one with the good heart. And my mother, I think. I just actually believe people should try their best to get along and stuff. And when they don't, there's a part of me that always wants God to push the button and be like, yo, I know you had that rainbow. And I'm speaking in the Abrahamic Christian sense, which you might not get. Logan will get it. So I know you have this rainbow, God, but it looks like the earth needs another flood because these motherfucking humans don't listen.
The rainbow was to make sure that there isn't another flood.
Well, the rainbow was the promise that there would be no other flood. And the point I'm making is, yo, God, fuck that promise, my nigga. Like,
damn.
You see how these motherfuckers be acting? I'm being real with you. Like, people like, you remember Yu-Gi-Oh, guys? You remember Change of Heart? Change of Heart. The card where it was the angel looking dude. He had one devil wing, one angel wing. I think of myself in that way, in that yin yang sense. Like people think, oh, Mitchell, you're like this good person. I had work to do to get there. That's what I work at. If my parents weren't involved in my life and I was still living in Fort Lauderdale, I might be the hood nigga who will punch you in the face for looking at me wrong just because I don't like you.
Have you ever heard of imposter syndrome?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
I think you do have a little bit of that because.
To be fair with you and honest with you, Claire, I agree. Sometimes, I don't try to look into it too deep. That's not a
negative thing. I'm not trying to be negative. I was just when you were talking, something that stood out to me about it was just. Sorry if I'm getting clinical on you. I know you don't want to be diagnosed.
No, I'm going to therapy tomorrow. I actually don't mind. Not even kidding.
Something that just stood out to me was you saying, like, I'm not denying that you don't have your demons or anything like that, but you seem to undermine your goodness. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you're not good. I'm just saying that, like, I'm not trying to undermine what you're saying or how you see yourself. I'm just saying that, like, sometimes when we're good as a defense mechanism, if we're kind as a defense mechanism, we forget that we have the ability to be kind genuinely. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, and I definitely see that in you. I see that you're good and kind as a defense mechanism because you don't want people to get hurt by your demons. You don't want people to see them. So you're kind, but you also forget that sometimes there are just parts of you that genuinely are kind and good. Like there are parts of you, because everybody has those parts in them. Like even Logan.
No, I agree.
I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. No, Logan's good and kind parts come out when it shows, like when it comes to me, for instance, or Sarah, or someone he cares about. Like he chooses violence as his kindness, his protectiveness.
Logan's not actually a mean person.
No, he's not.
Like you pretending in fake. Well, I mean, he can speak on that, but like
you think I pretend to be like a mean person.
It's not a pretend to be mean because you're not actually mean to people. It's just like. I don't know. It depends because you have a cynicism to you, but that is kind of just what it is, like cynicism. I don't know how the fuck you had it so young when we were going to college because I was like, yo.
I think.
And it didn't even permeate your life like that, but it's like there. It's like there. It makes you feel a type of way about people around you. But that's your business.
about Logan without Logan's consent, but I won't do it anyway.
Talk about him without his consent. Fuck
it's
that
not
man,
like it
bro.
hasn't happened before, but okay.
Think he could just boss us around on his show?
I just
take
think-
all advantage.
I just think that Logan is a complex person that confuses people. I think, and when I say complex, I mean not necessarily as a compliment, because it definitely seems to add to his personal stress.
Insult that motherfucker, man.
No, I didn't. Not as a compliment, but not as an insult either. Like it's just sort of like factual, just sort of a neutral comment. Because it does seem to affect, not only does it affect him, but it affects everybody around him. Like it just affects everybody. It's not something that's beneficial or negative to who he is as a person. And I think because of his complexity, because he's very like contradictory to himself. You know, he believes in God and he loves God, but also at the same time, he's incredibly intelligent, and anyone could peg him for a scientist or someone who believes in like the Big Bang. You know what I mean? Like
or someone who's an atheist.
Such conflicting things going on that I don't even think he knows himself.
On some levels, I would agree with you, to be honest.
To an extent.
Or you know what's better to say? What's fairer to say, Claire, is there are parts of himself that he denies or that he doesn't try to really engage with.
I wouldn't say that. I think
you wouldn't at all?
No, because I've seen him. He's grown a lot since I met him, let alone when you met him. Remember that. What do you think, Loki? Do you agree with what I said?
What do you mean? Like, in what way? What does that mean?
About the complexity of you.
No, I mean, like, what does Mitch mean by like I hold? What did you say? I hold myself back, or
no? I just think there are parts of yourself that you denied, like to yourself, like. In one instance, like, because I did, of course, bring up the cynicism, because, you know, you feel you're a little bit jaded and you feel a type of way about people. And I was like, wow, it's so funny meeting you at 18, 19, because how could you already be like that? But it's like, well, there could have been something in your life, and you are a smart person, and there's shit you pay attention to. You're the type of person who doesn't, because I think like a
cynicism
book kid.
Is a natural, sorry to interrupt. I think cynicism is a natural result of being smart. I think cynicism is a natural result of seeing things other people don't see, especially from a young age, and not having the coping tools, because like say people like your parents or people surrounding you don't see the things you see. So then you get cynical because you like, well, who do I trust? You know, they're saying that doesn't happen, but I saw it with my own two eyes. So then that's a natural development and result of being an intelligent person, or an intelligent child specifically.
The only thing I'll say there is that the three of us here are all intelligent children and could have been seeing the very same things. Ooh. Me and Logan, that was a weird sound, but I liked it. Me and Logan,
just putting on some hand sanitizer.
I mean, it was like, I was like, ooh. Me and Logan seeing
hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got a little, yeah. Anyway, me and Logan actually seeing potentially very similar things, but having just a different reaction. Because that's just who we are as people. And that's one thing I would say, like, to you. Like, I don't know what it is, but that's why I said I don't know what it is for you. But when I mean, like, you deny yourself, I feel like it's like you would act a certain way. You just don't trust acting that way, because that's just not who you are. You know what I mean? That just kind of is.
Give me an example. Give me an example, because I want to agree with you, but I want to, like... I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, I just mean kind of like, so it's like, I feel like you would be like a kinder, gentle person with people. You know what I mean? But that's just not the part of yourself that you're in touch with as much due to the cynicism. And you don't believe in treating people that way. Cause for the most part, you wouldn't wish death upon anybody, but fuck them. And that's just that's kind of where your experience has led you to. That doesn't mean, and it's like Claire said earlier, like Logan's kind of the people he cares about. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that's just a different relationship between how people like treat strangers versus how they treat the people they are actually close with. But I think that nature, for instance, just comes from the cynicism with you based on, you know, how your life's been growing up and what you experience and who you are as a person.
I would say that for me, I favor the people who I am close to. But as for human nature, I am extremely realistic about what human nature is. I think it's not just people in general. I think it's how people behave that I am you guys might say cynical about, but I feel that I'm just very keyed in about. Like, I don't make any type of, what is it? I don't hold any type of illusions about what humans are capable of. And so I treat them accordingly, you know? And so, like, as far as like just general and basic respect among people, I believe that I'm not the type that says, like, I can see how you guys can find me contradictory, because I'm also the same person that I'll say what I just said just then. But I also, when it comes to respect, I'll say that respect is your own personal responsibility. So it's not you owe me respect for me to give you respect. Respect is a reflection on me. So I have to give you respect because I want to be seen as respectful. You know what I mean? But I don't have, I'm the same, what causes a lot of friction between me and people is that I have nothing against using disrespect when it comes down to people who are being disrespectful with me, even if those people are quote unquote people who have an authority over me. You know what I mean? Like bosses or family members or whoever. Like, I just have no couth when it comes to that. So, because like I do feel that, you know, I don't feel that one person is better than the other. And I take that to an extreme sometimes. So it's like, you know, who are you to talk to me a certain way? And you could be like my boss, and my boss will literally be like, well, I'm your boss. I'm like, that don't mean shit to me. Like, you're not just going to talk to me any type of way. You know what I mean? I just don't let people like come at me, or people I love come at them any type of way. You know, I just have no like boundaries about that. And that's the only thing I would say is that, like, about myself in that way. You know what I mean? And I think when people look at that, people do say that I'm mean sometimes, and they are like, you know, Logan's mean, or Logan says this and Logan says that. I feel, for me, it feels very out of context, but to them, I could see like, you know, the optics of it do look mean, because like a normal person in that situation would not say certain things. They would not do certain things, where I'm like, well, fuck that person, because this person did A, B, and C, and they deserve to have this bad happening in their life now. You know what I mean? So I don't really care in that sense, you know, and that'll catch up to me eventually, but you know, not today. So.
Well, that was very nice, and I appreciate
yourself,
you.
Sir?
Exactly.
Like, is that how you see yourself?
How do you see yourself trying to get out of it?
I mean, I don't know.
Like, that was your answer to our observations.
Your observation, yeah.
Yeah, but what's your observation of yourself? Like, when you think about yourself, how do you see yourself? I know it's hard because I'm very in tune with myself. Like, I've had a lot of therapy. So I know myself, and I can explain myself as who I am, like that, like I did.
I think if I had to say something, I would say that I know myself enough to know that I don't like exposing myself to people. Like, I know that I'm very guarded in that way, where I don't like a lot of people in my business. I don't like a lot of people knowing who I am or how I am or whatever. And I very much played into the idea that, you know, people would be like, oh, Logan, you're just so mysterious. And I would very much play with it because it helps distance you from people even further, you know, because they like kind of, that's like they're giving up, like trying to like dive deeper into you. And so I play around with that a lot. And I'm like, yes, I'm mysterious, you know, whatever.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, ooh la la. You know what I mean?
Just mentally ill.
Yeah.
Don't give him the ooh la la.
Why are you hating on him? That wasn't even a bad thing.
So like I don't know. I don't like people knowing me. I don't like it. Yeah.
Well, but is that how you see yourself? Just as, you know, distrustful of people?
In other words, he's not telling us how he sees himself.
Yeah, I know. He's trying to get out of it, which I told him wasn't going to happen. But but how do you?
You mean, do I see myself as distrustful of people?
Well, yeah, yes. But what really is like the self-image you have for yourself? What does Logan think of himself? Not in terms of how he deals with people, just what does he think of himself?
I think that's very much rooted in how I think of myself, as how I interact with other people.
Claire, you're so right. He's such a politician. He is such a politician.
Is there a problem with that?
Yeah, I'm rolling with it. I know. I saw the politician, and I'm asking him a journalist question. Now, give me a minute.
God.
Do you see a problem with that, though?
If anybody knows me better than almost anybody, I would think it's Claire. Like, the only person that probably knew me better than Claire is my mom. So,
oh wow,
so like the only people that I would let write an autobiography about me is either my mom or Claire. Like, that's it. So Claire knows the questions to ask me, I think, you know? So I wouldn't, like, she's actually doing
also being very careful.
Yeah, she's like,
you guys don't know how much, you don't know how lightly I'm fucking treading right now, because I could be all like, excuse me. But I'm not, because I do love him. I know I rag on him a lot, but there's a reason I'm here.
Yeah, there is a reason you're here. Anyways, what was your question? Do I see a problem with...
Yeah, with how you struggle to open up. And how that's tied into how you see yourself is how other people see you, which is what I heard from that. That might be incorrect. That's what I heard from that.
I don't see a problem with it. I personally do not see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with people not knowing me because I have not found the logic where it is their business to know who I am or what it is I'm doing or why. Like, why do you need to know me? Like that's even in like some relationships I've had where I'm like,
why do you need to know me?
Why do you need to know me?
Together,
Exactly. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know, what is it that you want to know? Like, why, and why do you want to know it? Like, for what? Like, for what? Why are you using this information? You know what I mean?
Oh, honey.
Okay. All right.
But that doesn't make sense to y'all. That doesn't make sense to y'all. Y'all just freely giving.
Okay.
Y'all just like freely give information to y'all lovers and shit.
Well,
yes.
Okay, but, no one mentioned lovers just yet, buddy. And that's a tough one for me. That causes.
Ooh, that's
a tough one for
me
that causes
pain. Who's Mitchell talking to?
Unfortunately, I'm not scared, so I'll tell you all about myself.
Oh, tell me.
Wait, well, but no, I was just, in terms of an example, I'm not currently talking. I wish there was multiple women I wish I was talking to and in love with.
You're like, I want to go.
Why don't you just talk to all of them? Why don't you just talk to multiple women?
No, because...
Why not?
Well, technically, that's what I'm doing, but that's always felt strange to me. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about you bringing up how you were like, I feel weird opening up to lovers, which is funny to me because it's like, wow, I figured that would be the one person where you're actually like, yo... All right, because you let that person get to this point. Not because you're the type of person to open up, but you let them get this close in the first place. So I'm just actually surprised at that. But you bring that up. That's like actually
because there's so many people. Like I've been through. I haven't always been like that. I used to be the type that like I would basically let anybody in who was like, who even showed like simple interest in me, like they liked me. I mean, like in that romantic sense, you know. And I slowly closed myself off more and more from people in a romantic sense because
always work.
Because it doesn't work, and it's like, what the hell do you need to know for? Like, why do you need to know me? Why? Like, what is it that you need this information for? Because like, it doesn't work out for me, at least in my life. It hasn't worked out in that way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else, and I don't want to use that as like everybody else's advice out there. But I do question like people's motives all the time because, you know.
I get you.
Yeah.
I just think, like, I was in a very similar position recently. When I say recently, I mean 6 years ago. Long-term relationships, I feel like yesterday.
Oh, boy.
But I was in a very similar position before my baby. And I was always, like, there was always just a piece of me that I kept to myself from somebody. You know, like, I never really was truly open with anybody, probably except my mum. Like, we're pretty similar that way. Like, mum knew me, and like even Logan, I sort of hid some stuff from him at the time too. And it wasn't until I met Ben and he was all just sort of like, what are we doing here? Like, he was basically like, well, what are we doing if you're not, like, I'm in this 100%. Like, I love you. I'm here.
Yo, Ben would have hit Claire with that notebook shit. Cause it was what? I mean, it was like, what do you want? Except he did it in like an Australian accent. So he was like, "Hey, Sheila,
what do you want?
Do you want?"
Yes,
that was pretty good, Mitch. That was pretty good that time.
That was impressive.
Guys, I could actually do, but anyway, we're not gonna get on that. I just think that was funny.
You could come over here and just blend in.
That is an acting exercise that I want to do in multiple
Maybe not
places.
in South Australia. They don't go there.
Oh, okay. Yo, I'm gonna be guided. I'm gonna be guided by you. You better make sure I'm safe.
No, I got you. Okay. I was walking around. Sorry, this is totally irrelevant. But I was walking around the supermarket the other day, and I was like, "Damn, there's a lot of white motherfuckers around this area." I was like, I only saw one Asian lady this whole time. Like, I want to go home.
We saw one Asian lady. I want to go home. I hate it here.
I'm taking her with me. No, I'm kidding.
Taking her with me?
Okay, don't say that.
Not like that. I just, anyway,
kidding.
maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just the day. There was just so many white people. It was insane. I'm not used to it.
I feel you.
Anyway, fuck, what was I going to say?
No, like intimacy and like relationships and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So I just sort of got to the point where I opened up to not only him, but myself, in the sense that like I unlocked a lot of those boxes because I had to process that stuff before I could even share it with anybody because it had been locked away for so long. And that's sort of where my mental illness really kickstarted, but it's healthier this way just because it's out now. And I will be an even healthier person. Like, I won't have to do this when I'm 40. You know, I'm doing it now, so I don't have to do it when I'm 40. And, like, there might be kids involved or there might be situations involved. Apparently I'm emotional. Sorry about my voice breaking. Where shit's a lot more intense compared to now, where it's a little bit more chill as a younger person.
Right.
And I don't have as much to lose. So, yeah, it just sort of... Mine's a different situation, though. I know that. But my point is, Ben needed me to give him 100% because he was giving him 100%, and it was only fair. You know, it was only fair. And we would not have hit this 6-year mark without it. You know, he would have ditched my ass a long time. Actually, I don't believe that. He's pretty loving.
That's right, Ben. Respect yourself, Ben. Respect yourself, my nigga. That's what I'm talking about, son. Sorry, Claire.
I talk about him in a certain way, but that's just because how I see him and I know him. He can defend himself. Like, he's he's a strong person. He's his own person.
And you wouldn't have been interested in him if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, let me not speak for you, but I assume, like...
Yeah,
sometimes it just
Claire's
is what
pretty
it is.
tough. She can't like just be with anybody, you know.
Like, no, and I think that's the thing about all of us. We can't be with weaker people.
Again, I think that's a perception thing because compared to me, he's a nice guy. But as a couple, we're not the nicest people. We're very reclusive.
I'm really trying to set Mitch up with somebody. I don't know who Mitch can be with.
Yo, that's... I don't even want to talk about that because I'm in a weird space and like... Because don't get it twisted, guys. I do feel types of ways about a lot. And it like weighs on my soul and I'd be like, like, what the fuck? But I don't really want to get into that. Don't be setting me up, people. Just ask, and I'll let you know. Well, I mean, just ask and be like, "Hey, Mitch, I got a friend," and I'll let you know. Glad we had this talk.
Think they're like,
I can't really help you with that because I don't think you'd want to do long distance, like long distance.
No, you would be correct. Although, like, I'll meet anyone you
especially as no one in Australia can fucking leave this fucking shithole.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. You wouldn't see them till 2024.
Listen, I want to talk about, while we still have time, I want to talk about the OnlyFans situation.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Because
time flew today.
Yeah. We was talking about a lot of bullshit today. I
thought it was actually kind of an interesting conversation, and the way it flowed was very interesting to me today. We kind of like seem like, I don't know. We kind of like seamlessly flowed in between conversations better than usual without any like actual break I'm sorry. I thought it was interesting, but please.
No, for real. No, I do want to talk about OnlyFans because last week OnlyFans said they're taking off all the sex workers and the reason why they said they were doing it, to be fair to OnlyFans, I guess, if we want to be fair to them, This is what I was just talking about my personality. It was like, I can't, you know, like, do we have to?
We don't really want to.
Yeah, but to be fair to them, just for the platform's sake, they said that they were taking off all the sex workers because of the fact that they weren't going to be able to pay anybody as far as, I don't know, using the banks. The way they use the banks is to pay everybody, right? When you do a transfer of money, that has to go through their system and it has to go through a bank. Well, the banks, they said, were cutting them off because of, actually, they didn't even say that it was because of the sex thing. They just said that they are going to cut the sex workers off because they had some issue with the banks and like getting the money to people, right? But they blame the sex workers is what I'm saying. So that's why they said they were going to suspend all like sex work type transactions. Now this week, Wednesday, because we record on Wednesdays, and that's kind of shameful for like how long it takes the show to come out, but like we record on Wednesdays, and like so we weren't able to talk about it last week, but this week I wanted to talk about it because today, the exact same day, Wednesday, just a week ago, they suspended the idea that they're going to suspend sex work on the website. Yay! Right? Ooh, so they reversed the decision, and then because they got a lot of backlash over the weekend about it, of course. But the thing is, by now, like people have already switched their accounts, you know, to other sites like Fansly, and let me pull it up again because I want to like give other people options besides OnlyFans, and I want to let you know why in a second here.
Look at that, trying to fight the sex work monopoly by providing more sex work.
Yeah, I am
sexy.
Well, I'm not providing more sex work, and it's the same amount. It's the same amount of sex work, but
I was like, yeah. Wait, I was so on board with you until that happened.
It was like my fault. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can't. I really can't find the other ones, but I'll probably put like a link in the bio or something if I really feel like it. But like the thing is, like people have already moved on from OnlyFans. Not everybody, but like some people have already moved on from OnlyFans and they've gone to like a site called like Fans Only or something, and like Fansly and like things like this, like different little things that are like OnlyFan-ish, but they've gone on to these things, right? And my thing is, I don't blame them for going to the other things. I feel like they should, because even like there was I did see on Twitter one of those sites like post something about how like they're never ever gonna, like they made the promise that they're never ever gonna kick off sex workers because their site is made by sex workers and for sex workers. Sorry guys, sex workers, right? And so what they're both basically saying is that we're never going to kick people off the site because of sex work, because we're not using sex work just to make ourselves popular. Which OnlyFans, if most people didn't know, OnlyFans wasn't made for sex work. OnlyFans was made as like a thing where like people could like monetize their art and things like that. But as a result, because of how open-ended it is, it also opened a lane for sex work because it's really hard to get paid for your sex work. It's really hard to get paid for your porn
especially
that you're making and things like that.
Especially during the pandemic and stuff like that.
Especially during the pandemic. So that's like opened up a lot of avenues for people, you know, OnlyFans has. But at the same time, because they never wanted to be that company, there was always that risk that they would do something like this. And so my thing is, if OnlyFans can do this once, I wouldn't trust OnlyFans if I was a sex worker and if I was making like creative porn and things like that. They can do it again. Yeah. It's not something where you can say, I feel like I wouldn't play with my money like that. It's not something like you can do where like you're like, oh, they'll learn their lesson, they'll do this, they won't do this again. I don't believe that. I feel like if you could so easily, like if you said that like the banks were threatening not to pay you, and you wouldn't stand up for your core customer, the one customer that is made all of your business, like put your business on the map, you know, and you can't stand up for them, guys, I'm telling you, you need to switch from OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. Like I'm telling you right now, you need to switch from OnlyFans because that's a business that does not give a shit about you. That's like the Republican Party saying fuck white people. You know what I mean? like that's what I mean. Like this is who makes the backbone of your shit, and you can't even stand up for them. You know?
It's not only that, but they had other options. Like as much as like people are like, oh, in their defense, like that they wouldn't have gotten these loans, yada yada yada. There are financial ways you can make cuts or fix things around. Like loans aren't your only option when it comes to money, especially even big money. Like there are financial advisors and stuff on this situation. So just remember that. Just remember they chose to sacrifice you for the easy way out. They didn't even just choose to sacrifice you for a reason. They chose to sacrifice you because their reason was the easiest one to come by and they couldn't be bothered dealing with any other, like putting in any other effort.
Yeah, like that's how disposable you are to them. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's the worst part about the whole thing because sex workers have always been traditionally disposable in our society. Yeah. And because of that, OnlyFans was a safe haven. And so when your safe haven also denotes you as disposable, I'm telling you, it's time to find a new home. It's just like we had that conversation about the Olympics. It's the same shit. It's time to find like another thing. But like the good news is on the other side, like this isn't the Olympics. There is actual competition out there and you can find other places to go. And I think I might actually put like I might actually look up a couple of places and like put it in the bio because I think this topic is important enough where like I've seen some people like switch already, but I've also seen some people like waffle about the idea about whether or not they're going to switch or not. And I get that because OnlyFans is so big, but I would even go so far as say like, okay, if you feel like you can't like switch from OnlyFans because it's going to hurt you as well, make another account on the other ones, you know, and also share that account maybe twice as much as you share your OnlyFans. You know, make a transition, make a slow transition to the other ones and like really prop up the people that are actually going to be there for you because we live in that day and time where we can like if OnlyFans can change their stance in a week, this is something that like without the internet age, like this was something that could have gone on for months. And then like by the time it was said and done, there's no way you could like get it back, you know? And so the speed at which it happened is just a testament to everybody that's actually working with OnlyFans. And you guys just shouldn't be anymore. Like you should really find a new platform because it's just, I don't understand how somebody can throw you away like that. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is that if you were having some type of problem with the banks and the banks were like, we don't want to like, secure your assets or anymore, whatever it is they said, you know, my thing would be like, you have the power of social media, you're OnlyFans, you're one of the most popular companies in the world. Why wouldn't you just make a statement that said, this is the evil empire of banks and this is what they're trying to do to your money? And like make the banks the unpopular thing and fight against like whatever. So like, somebody else like would want that money, like another bank would want that money or something, you know?
It's a little bit harder because banks, it's because you like make a statement, but wow, I just kind of thought about that. Banks are kind of untouchable in terms of media because the money has to be transferred and all that regardless.
They are, like, but money is money, and that's what the banks are for. That's all the banks care about.
I just mean you're like OnlyFans is like, yeah, make a statement, but would that have legitimately fix their problem? I mean, their problem now seemingly is resolved, but it's like at the time I'm just like,
I don't think that would legitimately fix their problem, but it would come up with solutions other than kicking off your core customer from your website. Sex workers
trust them. Yeah, that's how you would know that, oh, this company actually cares about me. I just mean in terms of like
of business.
Yeah, well, and not even trying to be the guy like, oh, well, it's just because, you know, banks, it's like banks don't have to fucking care about what people think about them.
They don't, but banks also don't have to because they're not always under that spotlight. Like Wells Fargo gets in trouble. Wells Fargo like makes statements. Like any bank that gets in trouble in the media makes a statement. Banks don't get in trouble because we don't talk about banks. Banks are boring. What do you need to talk about a bank for? You keep money there. You know, you put the hotlight on top of the people who make your business. That sounds like worse business than going to war with banks, to be honest. Like, that just sounds like the worst business I could think of. Like, I don't know who's the core fan base of this show, but like, because like, I don't know who enjoys, like, I was thinking about all the different things that we talk about on the show, and I was just like, wow, like, what is that? You know what I mean? This is a variety show, like, if anything else. But like, because like, we just talk about Pikachu dildos and shit, like the last episode, and now we're talking about like the morals between OnlyFans and
about Diglett and Pikachu butt plugs.
No, you was there. It's in the promo.
I know
you were in that conversation.
There, right? Yeah. I know.
It's a y'all. The
levels y'all.
He's bringing that shit back.
Still in my history, bitch. I can pull it up. I ain't ashamed.
Anyways, all I'm trying to say is stick with who love you. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
Yeah.
Stick with who love you. Like, don't like. That's what I mean. Like, with relationships and shit. It's like, you know, how many times does somebody got to tell you don't love you? You know what I mean? Not Sarah. I love Sarah. Like, she says I love you all the time. I love you. But like,
what?
I said I love you.
I was like, where did that come from?
Well, no, because I didn't want.
That was for Sarah, though. He being cute.
Yeah, I'm just being cute. Anyways,
okay.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about OnlyFans. I don't know if you had anything else to say about OnlyFans, Claire, but that's what I had for them because, like, fuck them.
No, you pretty much nailed it.
It was wrong.
I do agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
You said Claire.
I know. I figured I'd get a chance too. Like, sure.
No.
Oh,
like,
honey.
No, if you got something to say, Mitch, please chime in.
Go ahead.
No. I was actually just agreeing with Claire. I think that's kind of about it. It's like, other than the fact that, you know, I think porn's great, but or have a sex addiction problem that I'll need to talk to my therapist about, which is probably closer to the truth.
You got a sex addiction?
I don't know. I don't actually fucking know, bro.
Can you have a sex addiction if you're not getting laid?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you do.
Right? So I don't think so.
You probably have a porn addiction.
I think you just need to get
maybe that's what I meant.
You have a porn addiction.
Yeah,
that's just from lack of stimulation.
Do you buy OnlyFans?
No.
Me.
Porn is free.
Shit, I don't know. That's the great take.
Not like I know. Nothing
that is
against
not true. I don't. Yeah,
nothing
that's
against
not true.
OnlyFans. Nothing against OnlyFans.
Porn is not free. Please pay for your porn because these are hardworking people and this is their job and they deserve to be paid for their services. So please pay for your porn.
I think that's the attitude that really fucked up OnlyFans, though. No, I think that's the attitude that's fucking people up right now, though. Is that porn is free? And porn is free because, like,
I was like,
if you can devalue work, this is what we say all the time on this podcast. If you can devalue work and you can devalue the worker, you don't have to pay them.
I'm not devaluing what happens on OnlyFans. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's like, so before OnlyFans, there were many options. And for me, I haven't felt the need to go spend my money at that option. But if you do, okay, there might be a performer, someone that really stands out to you and you want to, you know, give your money to them. And I think that's great. I'm glad you have that relationship. I'm glad that person does that for you. It's just, for me, it's like, well, you know, Pornhub existed before, you know, OnlyFans, and I haven't felt the need to cross over. If I ever do, I will. And if you found something on OnlyFans, that's great. I just, you know, I have those options currently.
On that point, I will admit that I don't pay for, like, content like OnlyFans. I don't pay like any individual.
I don't pay for OnlyFans either.
On OnlyFans, I don't.
No, but wait, that
that
doesn't mean you aren't supporting sex work still, because even on some of those sites, just for the click or the video watch, someone's making something, and you know.
Yeah, mostly
but you
the
make
site.
Sure it's the
like
right
mostly
person.
The site, like Pornhub.
Yeah,
it takes most of the proceeds. They do get paid. You do get paid for Pornhub, but like the person that's making the most money is Pornhub. Whereas OnlyFans, you know, the great thing about OnlyFans was it's person to person, straight into your pocket.
So, moral of the story here for all of us, since none of us are actually supporting OnlyFans. The moral of the story here is, if you like a performer, male or female, that stands out to you, and you really like them, you should probably go support their OnlyFans.
Yeah, you should buy their stuff. Like, you should buy it directly. I don't pay for porn, and so I don't pay for porn. Not that, like, I wouldn't, but I feel like I might cut this part out. No. Well, no, I think it's just, to me, it's just a personal thing. It's a personal thing as far as like, not that I'm personally cheap, which some people might say, but I think personally, like for my mental health sake, it would not be good for me to pay for porn because I think that would become like an expense more than anything that I would probably like
go
broke for. Like,
that's which is the truth.
Like, you know,
the fact of the matter is, I can't go invest in OnlyFans.
Barrier up for like a mental.
I think
health
that's
reason.
a different. Yeah. Like, I get it does tie in, but I think that is a different topic in itself.
No, that's what I was saying. It's probably unnecessary. So that's what I'm saying. That like. I was trying to say, like, how do you say that disclaimer that, you know, you don't pay for porn, but like it's because of your mental health, not because you're like trying to like screw over sex workers.
I guess it doesn't really sound like the best.
That's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean?
And like, I don't pay for porn, but I don't really watch porn that much. Like, I used to watch it a lot when I was younger, but not so much now. And when we do watch it now, we sort of already own it, so we already paid for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get that.
You're so much better than everybody else.
There you
go. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah. It's not that I don't care. That's not where I'm at sexually. But I think that if that's where you are at sexually, then you should pay the person that you're.
But I agree with Logan.
Receiving
I think
from.
It comes down to just personal choice.
The transaction.
Like, yeah.
I didn't say personal choice.
Deserve the money.
No, I didn't say personal choice. I didn't say it comes down to personal choice. I said that personally, because of my mental health reasons, I don't pay for certain things because it would not be good and potentially addicting and like leave me in a poor. Because the access to me, because the access to me would be too easy to pay for.
No, I meant a word. Like, I could have sworn when you first started, you were like, "That's not the." Well, it doesn't matter. You can hear it back.
No, yeah.
Basically, that's what I thought. Logan's too mentally ill, and Mitchell's a shitbag.
Oh, fuck you!
That's what we're trying to get to.
Fuck y'all.
Thank you.
It's almost the exact same reason. I mean, I too also think the expense would kill me.
How astute!
Okay. No. You're not gonna do me like that. Okay.
No, that's exactly it. Thank you, Claire, for clarifying. Clarifying with Claire. All right.
Yeah. Laugh it up.
We really didn't get through anything today, but it's okay.
I was going to talk about the clothes one, but
we could do it next time.
Then that whole self-image thing came up, and I was like, ooh.
Yo.
Oh yeah, no. Self-image
talks about a lot of things.
I think the only thing I'm really gonna cut out is like the Star Wars bit.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna cut out.
It's a bit unnecessary, and we just needed the break.
It was a lot. We
needed the break to like talk.
Yeah, half of that I was like outside with my boyfriend, so
yeah.
You're gonna cut out the 2D miniseries.
We're keeping in the hotel and incels part.
I think I'd rather you take that out. I know.
So far, here's what we got. We got childhood expectations,
ethics, we're gonna have to cut this as well.
Ethics and science and time travel. The Hotep incel
which was accidental. Incel thing was also accidental.
Star Wars.
Accidental.
All of them are accidental. Self-image. Self-image. And OnlyFans. The only two we plan on talking about today was the childhood expectations and OnlyFans.
That is not how that progression was supposed to go.
No, we had mad topics today that we just did not talk about.
We save them for tomorrow.
Look at this. We had childhood and dreams versus adulthood disappointment, women in the media industry, expectations and microaggressions. Clothing for big women, commercialization of space. We didn't even get to that.
It sounds like you're saying that we did extra work for ourselves to lighten up our load next week. Round of applause for us.
I mean, I guess we could carry over. Yeah, I guess we could carry over.
Look at that. Look at this.
Yeah, so when you come at us for topics next week, don't get mad if we say the same topics.
Yeah. I get mad. Y'all should keep. You know what you should do? You should keep your.
You know what we should do? We should end the show. Like actually
that's right,
end
Claire.
the show. That's what we should do.
Yeah, that's right. I got therapy in the morning.
Wow.
Because you're gonna have to cut all that bit out.
That's true.
I got therapy. I got places to be. I don't know if it's good for me, Claire. I have a weird relationship with therapy. I ran off on my first therapist and still don't know why. So,
look, do you like
the therapist that you have now?
Claire was speaking, asshole.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I didn't hear you.
Fuck me. Okay. Shit.
Sorry, I know that was shit. Yo, I'm sorry. I don't even know where that came from.
You're okay. I was gonna say. Therapy is not gonna work if you don't like the person. So, and if you don't feel comfortable and stay in a safe space with the person, and even if you might not have felt that about the last therapist you saw, you running out was a very subconscious sign that they weren't vibing with you. Like that was a very obvious sign that that you didn't feel comfortable in that space. Now, there are varying different reasons as to why you didn't feel comfortable in that space. One of them may be that he or she didn't get where you're coming from. Another one may have been personal, like you weren't ready. Something came up that you weren't ready to talk about and you didn't know how to put those boundaries in place. Because sometimes we don't. Even if we are good at putting boundaries in place, when new shit pops up, we do struggle to put boundaries in place. Because we don't know where the boundaries start, because it's new. So it's not like our fault. Like we shouldn't feel guilty about not putting boundaries in place if we don't know, when we don't know where the fuck to put the boundary,
I'm trying to think on it now. So the thing is, do also keep in mind, my life has been like working things out in New York and getting my life all together has been like a lot of ups and downs. That
is another option, is you're just not ready. You were just not ready to talk.
I might have gone through some shit like during the time period and it was just like, I can't deal with this right now. I don't really remember because my memory's also spotty because of the mental health issues.
It's not important that you remember that. I think it's more important that you remember that was then and it didn't work. But the good part is you're trying again, because that's one thing people forget to do. They're like, oh, that therapy session didn't work for me. I ran out on it. So therefore, I'm not going to do therapy because obviously I don't like it. Even if they don't remember the why or the how, not remembering the why or the how is more of an incentive for them to not go back. Because like, what happened? Like they're scared of what happened, let alone what other people are listening to. So I think it's brilliant you're going back. I think that is the first step. I think that's exactly where you need to be right now. And that's all of where you need to be right now. The fact you're going back, that's all you need to focus on. Take that as a win and go back. And if this one doesn't work and you end up leaving, just do you. Like, don't take it on too much. Don't feel guilty. They're giving you their time. I mean, your time. Sorry, that was meant to be like comforting, but it came out
like,
so
you're fine.
They are being paid by you to help you. So if you don't want that service anymore, and you're not paying for that service anymore, you don't owe them shit. If they're not helping you, you don't owe them shit. You know what I mean? So if this doesn't work out, if it does work out, obviously good for you. I'm happy for you. I love you. Great. Let's go. Like, awesome. But if it doesn't work out, I don't want you to feel like, you're stuck or feel guilty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just like, I just need to figure some shit out.
You're like, Claire, that was really deep, and I'm like overwhelmed.
No. That was, I'm okay with that. It's just when I actually think about it now, I'm like, because I'm going tomorrow, but I haven't even had the time to actually even prepare myself for it like I wanted to, and I'm just I'm like, shit, man, I don't even know. There's a few thoughts that I'm thinking about, like talking to the therapist, which I don't even remember who the person is. I keep forgetting to look, but like, I've always had a weird relationship with therapy. Mind you, I came from a negative stigma standpoint with it at first. Mm-hmm. That's how I was with my mental health. Like, and I've probably been I have been dealing with shit since childhood that I just wasn't willing to acknowledge.
I also think it's really great that you're going to therapy. I think I tell this story all the time about, like, I've had a couple of therapists that quit on me, but I think
they quit on you?
Oh, yeah, because the fuck. Yeah, fucking Florida, man. Like,
true that.
Like, No, yeah, they quit on me because they're like telling me that, like they don't really know what they can help me with. And this is around the time that I'm like my deepest, darkest times of depression. So I'm like going through it. And I think at the time when I look back on it now, like if anything, all I wanted was somebody to say to me that, they just wanted to see me again, And I think what that meant was that like, for whatever little bit I was giving them to me, that was a lot. And so for them, I guess they didn't see that as a lot. And so like just trying to trust somebody that much to just even talk to them in the first place, to me felt like everything, Yeah. And so to be told that like, that wasn't much of anything, or you're not like, you don't know where you can help this person. It was a lot for me to hear, because it's like, well, now I really can't get any help anywhere, So,
and it does feel like that.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but I was just saying that, I just wanted to say that, I know it can be tough to like sit there and you're talking to somebody and you're opening up to somebody and just trying to like, and that could be like, a lot of people's sticking point when it comes to a therapist. So like what Claire said, they are there for you, and like maybe going with that mentality more. Like it's not a magical thing,
No,
so,
I get that. That's the energy
you're paying for a service.
Yeah.
And if they're not providing you with that service, you have every right to be like, well, then I don't want this service anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and when it comes to Logan's situation, that's so fucking baffling to me. Like, it was baffling to me the first time I heard it. The fact that there are people in the world who say their job provider for like they took your money.
Yeah.
And then they didn't provide the service. And I'm like, no. Like that shit doesn't like no. Give me their names and numbers, I'll blacklist them. Like fuck them.
Let me translate for Claire in Black Speak, which is Claire saying like, y'all gonna run me some. Right now, y'all better run me some.
I don't know what that means. I don't
exactly. That's legit the
point.
point.
Pay what you owe.
Y'all better run me some. You gonna pay what you owe. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna run me back my check, or I'm gonna run you this ass whooping. Claire.
Okay.
Claire.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Anyway.
But yeah.
No, I'm coming. It's just before therapy to me, it was too sterile a space, because I have no problem opening up with my friends, but then you have to realize you're not getting what you were needing from your friends, despite the fact you feel like close to them, you can open up. So originally I had trouble dealing with like it being so clinical and like, is this really what I'm needing? It doesn't feel as natural. But I've come into the attitude where it's like, nothing else is working, so you have to work at this if you want to see some sort of result. And that's kind of like the space that I'm imbibing currently. And I'm like, all right, let's just see what happens. You're just going to talk to somebody. You talk to people all the time, bro. Not about yourself, I guess. And maybe that's the scary part, but yeah.
Let's wrap up.
Yeah, I expect you to do that 10 minutes ago before I started talking about my fucking hopes and fears.
I won't add that in.
Oh, I ain't a bitch, man. I don't care. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me, Logan. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, man. Every day. Good on my waist. Imagine. Don't do that.
Ian Mitchell is like...
Imagine you looked at the camera like, guys, you don't get to have an office moment. I'm mad you did that just now.
Ian Mitchell is okay with it. I do think it would be a good discussion to have on the podcast, but...
Oh, yeah, that wasn't embarrassing for me. That wasn't anything.
Not embarrassing. I just meant mentally safe.
Oh, yeah. I'm so protective of you guys. Like,
no, I wouldn't have brought it up on the show if I wasn't ready.
Because I didn't know you were aware we were like doing the show still. It felt like very off the cuff.
Yeah.
Well, it felt very off the cuff,
Well, I mean, I am winding down, so I did get more into like after, but I was plenty aware we didn't finish the show. I don't mind. Right. Yeah, that one doesn't.
Yeah. I'll think about it. Anyways,
I have a stronger personality for that with I guess just what my experience has been, so I don't like mind that as much. I respect the both of you taking the time to consider my emotions. Thank you. That is very much appreciated. But no, I was aware we weren't over. If you kept that in, I wouldn't mind. If it could be helpful to someone else.
I think it'd be a good conversation to have on the podcast, but I would never, like, that's just me being clinical. Like, I'd never do that if, like, Mitchell wasn't comfortable.
Right. No, exactly. Right. And I very much appreciate and respect that. Like, thank you. But no, I'm not. I'm fine. That doesn't bother me. These are open conversations I'm going to do. Oh, really? Oh, sweet, yo. I think you'd make a hot bearded woman, Claire. No, I think you'd make well, see how Ben feels. I'm just saying, like, you might be an attractive bearded woman.
He might like a little tickle.
You might be like, this is different.
You know what? Let's end the show, guys. I want to leave.
Yo, if you ask, I didn't say that.
It just makes me think about like how in Lord of the Rings, all the dwarves had, like the women had beards too.
Yeah, like, fuck you. Which you're only saying that because I'm short. Like,
yeah. That's fucked up. Which was supposed to be like, because it's supposed to be a gender neutral thing for them, which it technically should be because women grow hair and that's a sexism thing. But we don't have to talk about that. We can talk about that later.
Anyway,
we're not talking about it. End the fucking show, Logan.
I was just thinking about what dwarfs' sex must be like when they're like.
Yo, what if they like tied their beards together?
That's what I thought about. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that.
I was just tied like, oh baby, Domir, and then just like tied the beard together. And he's just like, Lycia, I love you.
We always talk about weird sex shit. Like, it's like the weirdest sex shit. Okay. Anyways, let's wrap up the show. Do you have anything you want to leave the people with, Mitch?
Shit. My brain's kind of scattered from all the shit I'm dealing with. Accept who you are. You know, I hope the person you see in the mirror is a person you're happy with. Talk to a therapist and work out your mental issues, man. Woman, be okay.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's about it. That's about it for me for today.
Claire, did you have anything you want to leave the people with?
I would like to clarify that I'm going to be the villain. I'm going to be the motherfucking hottest villain you have ever seen. First of all, I'm including Loki.
Damn.
So we've created a Chrono-terrorism.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it's important to see a therapist, but I don't want anyone to feel pressured. You know, I think what's important is seeing a therapist when you need to see them, and if that's not in the right time for you, then do what you need to do for that. Just listen to yourself. Even if no one else knows you, you know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear you. Looking at you, Logie.
Wow.
And you know what you need. And if you deny what you need for too long, it's just going to come back and bite you in the ass like it did me. So just listen to yourself and do what you need to do. Drink plenty of water. Take meds if you need to take meds. Take that self-care time if you need to take that self-care time. And just look after yourselves, basically. I hope you guys have a really good week. I hope you had a really good week last week. And if you didn't, I hope this week's better for you. Always look forward. I love you guys.
Aw, she's so good at that. Last things I wanted to say. I don't have a whole lot to say. Again, fuck OnlyFans. That's really the gist.
You're really mad at OnlyFans.
I really am. mad at OnlyFans.
Fair enough.
That's fine. I didn't know you were so passionate about sex work. I'm excited.
I'm passionate about work in general. Like, I feel like that's why it keeps coming up on the show. Like, I'm very passionate about that topic. Like, workers getting paid right, workers being treated right. Like, I do not like the idea of like people controlling other people's livelihoods to the fact that they're allowing them to starve or just like being over somebody else and like taking advantage of them. What we say
about our livelihood? What's the one thing they ain't allowed to do?
Fuck
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
And OnlyFans right now is fucking with people's livelihoods. They're like, for a whole week, people didn't know where their money was going to come from. And that's just like a week. We just had that conversation where like going week to week, paycheck to paycheck, you know, how people just, you don't know where your money is coming from. And then like your whole platform, your whole job tells you that they might not pay you anymore. Like they fucking with you. They fucking with your livelihood. Stop fucking with them. Like this does make me upset. Like it does make me upset.
If like my place of business was all just like, yeah, no, sorry, we're not going to pay you anymore because, you know, stupid excuse that isn't really valid. Stupid excuse.
We don't like people with red hair. We don't like people with black hair. Yeah.
I would walk the fuck out. And I would expect back pay for the work I'd already done.
Thank you. Facts. Thank you.
So, fackety factoids.
So yeah, I would like see if this was a situation, if this was a situation where like OnlyFans was the only platform that you could get your money on, OnlyFans was the only platform that you could do things on. Like I understand that like if the other platforms aren't big enough and then they don't have like the proper UI or something, like their user interface isn't as great as OnlyFans or whatever. But listen, if you invest in those platforms, their interface gets better. OnlyFans wasn't always OnlyFans. That's hard to say, but like it wasn't always that way. You know what I mean? So it's like I would rather just get on a different platform. Like leave OnlyFans the fuck alone. Like I know my little platform is not really gonna hit it to the point where a bunch of y'all are gonna hear this. But for the ones of you who do listen to this show and who do hear this, I'm telling you right now. You don't have to do this one. This one you truly don't have to do. There's other places you don't have to fuck with OnlyFans no more. It's like the same thing. Like if you have a bad boyfriend and it's like he's not treating you well, you don't have to stick with that man no more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You find somebody else gonna treat you right. Find another platform. It's gonna treat you right.
Okay, I'm gonna find another platform that treat me right.
Thank you. And also subscribe to Mitch's secret OnlyFans.
Oh man, I should legit make that a thing. That needs to be a thing.
He be lying. He's saying the reason why he don't pay sex workers is because he is the sex worker.
Okay, Logan. God damn it! If you keep putting this in the goddamn show,
anyway.
I told you that in private.
Anyways. If you love what we say, as always, if you like what we had to say, please share the show, subscribe to the show, subscribe to the show on Spotify, Google Plus, or wherever you, I say Google Plus, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts. What else? Yeah, and if you hate the show, share it with your enemies, you know, and annoy them with it. Say like, I really hate the Milk and Toast podcast. It's annoying as shit.
Did you hear that? That was the Milk and Toast podcast.
Yeah. So I'm going to send it to Fred down the lane because he's annoying as shit too. And I'm just going to send him annoying shit all day. You know? What else do I got for you? Not much. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. Whenever you're listening to the show, stay safe out there because the world's getting crazy again. Wear your mask, drink your water. Go ahead and say bye to the people, Claire.
Bye, guys. Have a good week.
Say bye to the people, Mitch. He grimy with them intros and outros. All right. I'm your host, Logan, and this has been the Milk and Toast podcast. And we're out.
We out.
Bye.
So long. Farewell.